Jesus freak here. Well, I wait for some of my money to come back to being available to me, which will take a couple more days still. I had to think about a few things, I have some stuff on my computer, for example, that's starting to fall apart. And it's like, this is stuff that's relatively cheap to replace. And, the benefit of replacing it versus, on one hand, the cost of not replacing it and the cost of replacing it. Getting another keyboard, getting another mouse. That's not really that bad. So, no doubt I'm going to be buying another keyboard and mouse. As it so happens, the cable on my keyboard is having issues. This happens a lot. I've had to replace a lot of keyboards because of issues with the cable. The mouse, the problem is the scroll wheel. And even though I don't use the mouse a lot in my normal day-to-day, when I'm working on certain things, I do use it. And, having to work around a failing scroll wheel makes it a lot harder. Those things, for example, are going to need replaced. That's not an issue. You're talking, at most it's going to cost me maybe $40. And in the meantime, I can, get a few things available myself for free shipping. And it won't be that much of a deal. Now, there's other things that I need to replace, but I don't need to replace them that much, and I can limp by on what I got, either in a short term or in a longer term. My sneakers is starting to fail, but I'm not going to replace them right away. I'm going to wait a couple months because I think it's going to be a while before it actually becomes a problem. And I can be a little bit more, forearmed. My computer's been having issues since I got it, but it's like, that's going to take a lot to save up for, and I have priorities that really need the money a lot more than that. It's like, throw away maybe 20 here, 20 there, but we're talking something that's going to easily run me $1,000 or more. That's going to have to wait until I've taken care of, preparations for moving or whatever. So it's all priorities. In another topic, I had someone getting on my case about Revelation 16:5. It wasn't exactly what you think it is. I mean, a lot of people are going to say, this or that about the Hostios or Asamenos thing. And it's actually not that. As it so happens, there is a Lord in that verse in the KJV. And not in other translations. Someone pointed this out to me, and I'm like, well, I'm going to go check this out. So I within my limited ability to read Greek, because I can't actually read Greek, but I can recognize a word here or there. So I pulled up the verse in Antonides, which is a Byzantine text type, and Robinson Pierpont, which is also a Byzantine text type, so that no one can say, oh, you're using the Skeptics text, you're using Westcott and Hort and Nestle-Aland. I deliberately bypassed those. Neither of these Greek texts had the word Kyrie there that the Textus Receptus did. Now, remember I said this is Revelation. Revelation is a bit of a special case in the Textus Receptus. When Erasmus was first working on a printed Greek New Testament, the only copy he had of Revelation was kind of faulty. And in many cases, he'd actually have to fill in holes in the text. And sometimes he couldn't even be sure whether what he was reading was part of the text or part of someone's commentary. So, Revelation in the Textus Receptus is kind of flawed. And for this reason, I'm likely to consult other sources much more than I am in other books. Now, remember how I said in the Byzantine text the word for Lord isn't there, matching what's in texts based on Nestle-Aland. I did, however, find it in the Clementine Vulgate. So, as you know, knowing what I know about the Textus Receptus, knowing what I know about Revelation in the Textus Receptus, I said, it's not that all these new translations have taken Lord out. But it was never there in the first place and was added in from Latin. Even the Comma Johanneum has some manuscript support in Greek prior to 1522, but this was back translated. Here, there's no support for it at all in the manuscript tradition, as far as I understand. And someone else looked up in an apparatus and said, yeah, it's just not there. So someone's like, oh, they took out the word Lord. No, they didn't. It was actually added in 1516. Never appears in the manuscript tradition. Anyway, I had a cancellation. I gotta go shopping anyway, but since I don't have an appointment, I'm not in a rush. I, took a nap, did some stuff, and I'm a little more awake than I would have been if I'd done what I had originally planned. Yeah, it's raining a little bit, not too bad. At least gives us a reprieve of the weather. It's only about 70, about want to say probably about 21 centigrade. Jesus, freak out.